There we go.
Take
Just checking out the kitties.
take two. Still nice clink.
Yeah.
Nice clinker morning. Good job.
So what'd you have for breakfast?
I had an amazing bison steak, a
Yeah.
New York strip bison steak. You got out a couple, you thawed them last night.
You trying to destroy the earth, Tara? What's going on?
You're pretty ignorant,
You're
John.
not a
You have-
vegan?
You have no idea.
You're not a vegan?
Well, I don't want to destroy my body.
Oh,
either.
you're not a vegan. You're not a vegan. There's collagen there that, your skin is elastic. You're not a vegan. Sorry, vegans, but try not to do it. Try not to be vegan. You'll feel a lot better.
Well, we eat bison,
Yes.
and
Tatanka.
it's grass-fed, grass-raised, and
Finish,
really
grass finish.
Grass finish. Sorry, I mean you can kind of ruin bison. We learned over the years of buying bison that we learned actually through our cats. It was really interesting. I was making cat food out of meat, and we were buying bison, so I got bison meat, and all of a sudden they stopped eating it, and I was like, And so I called the
Supplier,
farm,
yeah.
the rancher, basically. I mean, they had their own ranch of buffalo, and they're like, oh yeah, we finished them. What was it?
Soy.
It was soy.
The soy. Yeah.
And we had specifically, before we had gone there, wanted to make sure that they're, fed an only, a diet that's only natural to them, which is grasses.
Yeah.
And so I was like, wow, thanks, kitties. They just knew. And so
They turned us on to be turned off to the bison we were buying, so we found a better farm, and
Yep.
wow. You're drinking pure water out of a
Mason jar. Yep.
You hick.
Next, you're gonna comment about my hat.
Are
Just
you
go
a
for it.
you
Just
a
do it.
meat-eating hick with American flag cap? What's going on?
Yep. I drive a V8 too.
Look at me. I'm a city boy. I'm all dressed up in my city boy garb.
I'll be gentle. Don't worry.
Are you a rough
Okay.
and tumble, bale throwing biatch from the country?
What is that word? What does that mean?
What? Country?
So yeah, I did have an amazing steak this morning that you meticulously made on in a skillet.
What?
And you
What?
made your special butter.
And
like
do I look like I cook with a cast iron skillet? Are you kidding me?
flex.
Do I look like I use real butter?
Okay, at least
Do-
your
do I-
arms.
do
You
I
look
look
like
like-
you could pick one.
Do I look like I eat bison? I'm a vegan.
Boy, we need to get a little physical, don't we? Feeling it.
I eat vegan animals.
Yep.
Although you will catch a cow or a bison eating a bird every now and then.
Will they
A
really?
deer will eat a bird too, yeah. Or a chipmunk. Every now and then, it's been captured on video.
Our kid, no, she had salmon this morning. She loved
Yeah.
it.
Wild caught Alaskan salmon for our kitten.
She's spoiled.
Trying to destroy the oceans, Tara? What
No,
the heck?
those are sustainably
Caught.
caught. Yeah.
I agree.
What else would you like to talk about?
As long
What
as
else
I
do-
agree. What kind of
do you do
vehicle
it?
do you drive, Tara?
Well, until we get sponsored, we already talked about
Is it
my
over
vehicle.
6,000 pounds?
Yes, it is. No, it wasn't 6.
You drive a semi truck? Yeah, it's over 6,000.
I was wondering if I was messing up the other day. Because I was looking at trucks, and I was wondering if I was messing up towing capacity or weight of the vehicle. So okay. Then I wasn't messing that up though.
Yeah.
Because I did say over 6,000 pounds.
Don't bring in kilograms or metric tons or none of that crap.
Nope.
Metric.
So how about, okay, when I did pick out that vehicle, because I picked out a vehicle faster than I've picked out shoes or jeans for sure. Thanks for putting that in my nose.
Nobody
And
can see that.
I
I put the
know.
cursor on her nose.
Just like so were you surprised, okay, wow, she just chose a vehicle online, we went to test drive, and
Because
she's like, yep,
we were talking about a camper, so we're talking about towing
But I hadn't,
capacity and
but
that
I
kind
hadn't
of
been
stuff.
talking to you about vehicles, so I
You
wasn't
weren't
like,
talking to me about nothing.
I wasn't, and I was like, hey, let's
You were
go.
just sitting in your brain dead vegan state.
Thankfully, I came out of that.
You're in a vegan coma.
But no, seriously, because
Oh,
like,
seriously.
I think women get a bad rap for like just window shopping and just shopping and not knowing anything about vehicles. And here I'd picked this one out. We just went there, we drove it. You're like, yep, sounds good to me. And I mean, were you at all
All right,
surprised? Or were
first
you
of
like,
all-
she's so amazing, of course she'd pick out the one
Yeah.
that I'd pick out.
First of all, Tara, women get the rap they deserve. All right. So, second of all, yes, I was impressed with your choice and I approved your choice. And you got the Toyota Sequoia TRD Sport. It wasn't the Pro.
No, it wasn't the Pro. They didn't have a Pro.
No.
But I wasn't going to spend that amount of money.
Well,
I mean, the TRD
it's a
Sport
little
was
bit
enough.
more money for, or it's a decent amount of money for not so much value.
Well, we wouldn't really use it. I mean, it,
I
was,
mean,
it
I
would
took
just be
your-
for the mark.
I took your pink fingernail polish and wrote Pro on the side of the.
No, it's in black, and that's the way I like it. No, I think you do
that's-
pay a lot more for, I mean, who's really using that? I mean, we did see a Tundra truck the other day. There's a TRD Pro that, had racks on it and looked like it was hauling stuff. So it probably did use the heavier suspension and all that. But it's kind of, yeah,
Well, we're not going in serious off-roading at all, so
no, not at all.
we're not that country.
The most we get is, a good snowfall
Yep.
or a messy dirt road.
It has towed the trailer well, the camper. It has hauled all the gear with my parents and us when we went on a long trip. And has the 150 volt. It's got the 110
yeah.
plugs in the back for.
That's what I love that about it. It has
For-
so many like compartments and stuff.
Well, it's got all the plugs.
You
We
can
plugged
hold-
in the refrigerator,
You can
freezer.
hold big water bottles. It
We
has
got-
multiple, just even like the
Yeah.
little phone jack
Yeah.
thing,
It's
the
got
chargers.
the heavy jacks, the heavy plugs for
Not
charging.
sponsored by Toyota yet, but boy,
Toyota.
we could really
What's up?
sell it
Don't make me flex.
when we do our adventure truck, right?
Well, that'd be nice. Toyota could sponsor our adventure truck.
Mm.
Our trip to Argentina,
Mm-hmm.
to the southernmost tip of Argentina.
It's Argentina.
And then we can, because we're going to drive down there and then I'm just going to drive the truck right into the ocean.
Oh,
And that's where we'll leave
Oh.
it. And then Toyota could be like, it could be like the end of the road. Toyota
Yeah.
gets you to the end of the road.
I think they'll have to
That's not
come
a
up
good
with
commercial.
well, driving into the ocean probably environmentally is not a good message. I'm
Why?
just thinking marketing.
Toyota uses
messaging.
all biodegradable materials.
Oh, so it'll just dissolve in the
Yes,
ocean, but it
yes.
has to be a certain saline solution of the ocean, and then
I don't know if you
biode-
knew this, but everything is biodegradable. Because
Eventually.
we get everything from the biosphere, right?
Eventually, I would agree
Everything
with
is
you.
biodegradable.
Yeah.
Some of it's more durable. Like this stainless steel is more durable than cardboard.
Yeah,
You like how I'm talking? Using my Metro voice.
yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't. Yeah, Metro.
No, I
voice,
didn't
you
have. I
even-
didn't
you
have a
even-
lisp.
You didn't even top me off. You're so Metro. Like, didn't take care of your
I
woman.
believe in the equal rights,
I know. I could tell you were in your
equal
full Metro mode.
behaviors. You can get your own damn door.
Sometimes those doors are really bullies.
They're heavy.
Actually,
They're meant for men. Doors are built by men, meant for men.
there are some doors I'm like clearly.
If a woman built a door, it'd be a curtain. She'd
No,
be like,
those-
I just like it because I could just.
No, I was just gonna say something. This is totally gonna be really funny and an insult. Revolving doors.
Revolving doors.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
It's a simple push.
Yeah.
Because a curtain it would
It'd work well for these
could
young
get
people that
caught
go
in
in
it.
and out of their relationships constantly. Yeah.
But a curtain is problematic.
These young
But a
women.
revolving door, you only let in and out so much heat
It'd be
or
curtain
air.
beads. Curtain beads.
That sounds dangerous.
It'd be easy to get through, but they provide coverage
Mm-hmm.
so you can't see through very well.
Mm-hmm.
I like it when you make fun of your own gender.
Yep. I am pretty good at it, whether on purpose or not.
Yeah,
But
pretty bold
I
wearing
think
that hat, huh?
most of it, well, when I really get bold, I'm going to put it on my truck.
I'm gonna have to ride behind you with a machine gun, protecting you.
Well, we're far enough out where I'm okay.
We are far out.
Yeah.
Far out, man.
Yep.
Hey, dude.
What
Oh,
else
I just
was
gave
really
a
fun?
symbol.
What was the other
hang
thing
loose,
that was
bro.
really funny this morning? I'm like, dang it, we're not recording.
No, that's
was really
why we
funny.
can't talk about what we talked about before.
I
We're
know,
talking
because
about
it like ruins it.
yeah, because we can't remember. I don't remember.
You showed me some funny videos the other day.
I did.
Mm-hmm. Let's show the soccer one since we just got off of.
Are
like,
we
the
showing the soccer one, or are we?
No, we should show it. I was just doing
Oh,
shorts the other day,
wow.
and we were listening to something. It would have been better to have the actual video showing.
Okay. All right. Well,
It's
you
in
keep talking while I
messages,
pull
too.
it up.
If you pull it up on messages,
Oh,
it'll
it
show
is?
better.
Yeah, but
because you
that-
sent it to me.
That won't. Okay.
Sorry, I don't mean to be bossy, but I do this stuff all the time for my
You
own business.
Bossy pants. What's
I-
going on?
You love my bossy pants to a certain degree.
Love it when you're not wearing your bossy pants.
Because when you share, then it'll share. Oh, okay. That'll work. Is your volume on though?
Yeah, that's gonna be kind of hard to see.
If you pull it up play it in your messages.
Yeah, it won't. Oh, then it'll be bigger. You think?
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry, folks.
Play it right
This-
here, and then choose this window. Make it smaller.
And can you close that part?
I can't. I can make it smaller. Like
There we
that.
go. That'll be better. Because then you choose that specific.
No, it's gonna be bigger on this screen.
Okay. Alrighty.
You talk about something else while I'm doing this.
Well, I'll just preface this. So this is the U.S. women's soccer team playing retired footballers from the UK. Were retired fat. They didn't look too fat to me, but maybe for what they're used to.
Oh, look at the options.
Oh, cool. Yeah, let's do that one.
All right.
Great. Yep. Okay, so they can see that. And is your volume up? Sorry, everybody. I don't mean to be a bossy biatch babe, but this is stuff that I do all the time for my
Bossy
business.
babe.
Soccer players were challenged to a match by the American women's team at the peak of their performance, and the results will not surprise you.
This message is for Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. 1, you should be here right now with your squad. 2, your team.
Okay, first of all, when I first watched this, I was like, Ryan Reynolds, why would the actor be participating in this? It took me a while to
Because he owns
realize.
a soccer team.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it is him. Okay.
Yeah.
Now everybody else you found out too.
No.
And then I'm like, why is she so angry? And he's like,
Yeah, number 10. Number 10 here is just giggling.
yeah.
They call him a retired overweight soccer player.
Yeah, I think it even said fat. Yep. Old fat men beat U.S. women's.
Old
Yeah.
fat men. Could you imagine if you said old fat women?
Oh my gosh. And he's just laughing.
This is just young, skinny, vegan, angry soccer player. Okay, let's play.
About to go down in North Carolina.
Look at him.
Let's go. Let's go.
His body is as wide. His chest to back is as wide as her shoulders.
Well, the thing is, okay, wait. So there's a similar differential in size, as far as I can tell.
His pecs are bigger than her boobs.
Of like me, that's like me and you,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
I've run into the wall. Like
you have.
I'm like,
You have.
and you're like, you don't move.
Okay, if I hold,
I'm like-
yeah, then you have to shake your own body. Yeah.
And that's what he's like. He's like, okay, this is gonna be cute.
Look at his hand compared to hers. Her fingers are as big as her wrist.
So,
his fingers are as big as her wrist. Look at that.
Totally. No, it's like the total, like that's, yeah, baby. All right. Let's go.
USA. USA.
Again, you got to be careful. There's a shot and keeper. Nice spin move here by Lloyd. Another shot and a clear.
Well, let's tell everybody the secret to watching this.
The
Watch the
secret to-
goalie.
Okay. Yeah.
The goalie isn't used to this kind of speed
Totally.
that the ball is coming, and the goalie doesn't react until the ball's past her.
Well, like I was thinking, like, didn't these girls ever play with their brothers or their dad or something? Because like
No,
there was
Tara, they're the
literally-
U.S. women's soccer team. Come on.
You got
They're-
girls, you can't just play with the girls.
It's women
You gotta-
beating women. There's no men involved.
Yeah,
No, we can't have men involved in this.
they got schooled.
There's running off of him. It's a big ask, but
Well, there's Trundle able to with the left, and Trundle so far so good in this game.
Getting more and more frustrated.
Trundle again diving, and then Murkoff trying to move around, and that's going to be Murkoff
This sound
takes
effect
that
do
shot
make
with
it the best.
perfect contact.
I have to say too that the goalie reacts so late. She doesn't even dive in the path of where the ball would be.
Jarvis, there it is, 12-0. Wrexham defeats the U.S. women.
Uh-oh.
That guy wasn't even
Thanks to the
stoked.
Benny Show.
Yes, nice job. Great sound effects, by the way. That made it more fun.
Wow.
And because like the old schoolers wouldn't know those sounds.
Oh, the Mario
Yeah.
sounds? Yeah.
Bling. But
Boop,
okay,
boop, boop, boop.
girls, the reason I laugh and I make jokes about women is I think that we need to be more humble.
Well, that lady needed to be more humble.
That lady
For
needed-
sure.
But I think
For
generally
sure.
as women, we've gotten a little too haughty. And
It's good to be a hottie, but not a houtie.
Houtie, yes.
Haute.
yes, and then there's haute couture,
HOTE. Asterisk, apostrophe,
pasta tricks, okay. Yeah,
accent.
that's what you wanted, tricks.
Yes.
But like really, okay, so when I was a kid, I played softball, and there was a summer where my uncle trained me, and my uncle's just like a natural athlete, but any guy is going to kind of train you better than,
Just say
anyways.
it. Just say it. You're a woman. You can say it.
uh,
A guy's going to train you better than.
most women, unless they were like actually a professional or, but men, even if they weren't a pro or something, they just understand it. They get it.
An average guy that never throws a baseball can throw a baseball faster than a professional girl.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really
coffee.
crazy. Yeah.
It's just mechanics. I'm a machinist. I'm a tool maker. I'm a quasi engineer. I don't have an engineering degree, but I've been doing it for 35 years. But it's just mechanics. It's leverage. It's mechanics. It's the way the musculature is built.
And so even when my uncle was taking it easy on me, I mean, it was still challenging. And then it got more
Super
and more
fast. Yeah.
high fly balls, fast grounders, fast throws. And,
And you got good.
I got way, way, way better and moved up to shortstop at that point,
Wow,
because
there
I
you go.
wasn't afraid
Yeah.
of a fast ball coming right at me.
That wasn't fast comparatively in the game, right?
Well,
I mean, if
in the
somebody-
game, it was slower than with the training I was
Than the
getting.
training, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what a guy will do for you.
Yeah.
Guys are like, all right, we're going to be going 100 miles an hour. Okay, let's go 200 miles an hour so that 100 seems slow.
It was like that. I mean, first I did have to start with learning, okay, cover, the ball with your hand.
Yep.
I mean, any guy's going to teach you that.
That's the way guys are. Yeah. Guys are protecting the goods,
Yep.
right? So they're like, you
Gotta cover it.
better have that
Or even-
glove goes low and this goes high, and that's covering you.
We had one year when we got a guy coach, and he was a local mechanic,
Yeah.
great guy, rough around the edges, but he was coaching girls, and he had girls as kids too, so he kind of knew how to. Sometimes it was a little rough transition, but he knew how to kind of tame it down. But one year he got us hats, or we had to have hats as a part of our basic uniform. And so we had to learn how to play wearing hats. And then we're like, so we just learned how to catch pop flies. And we're like, I can't see it. And he's like, knock it off of your head and then so
Yeah.
you can catch. And we're like, oh.
But it's stuck on my ponytail.
So, oh my gosh.
You're so funny. The camera doesn't show how red you just got. That's great.
But so yeah, I think that was humbling, but at the same time, then when I went back to play with the girls, it was like, oh, I can really do this.
I can stomp on these.
Yeah, no, not really. Well, I did one time. I tagged a girl out. It was a rare time.
Did you knock her over?
I really pushed her really hard. I like jammed her, like I just pushed her in the chest. And it was just like I was overcome. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Because she went away. She's like, oh. And
You're like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not a vegan.
I still remembered that. And I think in the lineup afterwards, I apologized again. I was just like overcome. But
Well, you don't want to hurt anybody.
no, I didn't want to hurt her.
Yeah, sometimes hurt happens.
So what were we talking? Oh, that was me putting girls in their place, apparently. But
Well, you're not putting anybody, I would correct that. I would say you're suggesting that women not be so over the top ridiculous. I mean, first of all, if that guy wanted to keep the woman away from the ball, he just put his foot on it and hold her
Oh
at
my
arm's
gosh.
length, right? He just
Hold
put
her
his
at her
he
shoulder.
put his arm out and he just hold her, yeah, just like this. And she'd be trying to kick the ball and she'd be like, let go of me, move it. You know,
I know,
"You're
I've
not-
been there."
You're not supposed to be touching me, that foul. You know. But you know, there isn't, and he could probably stand on it and she could kick it and it wouldn't come out from under his foot.
Yeah.
You know, I remember doing that with my son when we were little. We were playing around and I just put my foot on it and he kicked it and it wouldn't move.
Yeah.
And that's what it would look like with, you know, and I'm not saying that women aren't incredible and they're not phenomenal but if there was a small guy, a guy the size of that woman next to that bigger number 10 guy, the small guy would not be talking like that. He would say, we're going to do our best. We're going to try really hard. We're going to use our agility. We're going to use our moves. We're going to
Got a few secrets.
Yeah, we're going to pass it a lot. We're going to wear these big guys out, you know.
Yeah,
That's what
strategy.
he wouldn't be like, we're going down.
Do you know my
You know,
strategy?
she didn't even give USA credit. She goes, USA, like really fast. It's like, come on,
Yeah.
you got to give a chant, you know, USA, you know.
Yeah, I know.
It can't be
I know.
USA.
Yeah. Do you know what
Squeaky
my
mouse.
strategy would have
Yeah,
been?
what?
If I was her, of course, not me.
What?
But I would have been like, yeah, let's get out there on that field.
Here, rub up there, show they can see your hand.
Winner buys drinks at the pub.
I'll be like, let's go right now. We don't need to play this game.
You
know
won.
what? You know what? As the man, I would be like, let's just go out on a date.
Yeah,
Because afterwards, you're not going to want to date me.
yeah, probably.
I'm like, let's not. In my mind, I'm like, let's not do the humiliation side
Yeah.
of this. Let's just go on a date.
Just skip that part. Yeah. No, he looked like he would have felt good. So, just give him a big bear hug like he is and distract him.
What do
throw
you
off the
mean- you mean
captain.
women like men that are larger than them?
Well, I do. I like one man who's larger than me.
Yeah, I'm actually taller than Tara. What's sitting here, I just sink into the padded chair more because I'm heavier.
It's good. You had to prove that.
I'm just telling people.
Just so you know.
I'm not sitting on a midget chair.
That's right. All right. So what else can we rub the fur the other way
Well,
on?
since we're watching videos, you want to watch more? We can.
What was the other one?
We can go
What was
to.
another good one that you showed me?
Okay, this is our review show, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Some were a little serious. I don't know. That was a little.
Yeah. Well, since you're correcting women, do you want to correct it? No. All
Well, we
right.
can. You can.
Okay.
You can pull it out of me.
I'm funny.
Okay, so we got to go. I'm funny. I'm funny. When somebody has to tell you they're funny, it generally means they're not.
Okay, so you're showing Kevin Samuels who had a dating advice program.
I'm funny. I have a good sense of humor. I can cook. Guys like girls who can cook. Whatever.
Whatever.
What do you have to say about that, Tara?
Well, so his show was, God bless him, he's since deceased, but had really, in a lot of ways, very practical advice.
Rest in
And-
peace, KS.
That's right.
Yeah, he was great.
And so I assume she's calling into the show for dating advice. Sometimes he had people calling into the show just kind of to argue, to like present counterpoints, which she might have been. And so she's like, I can cook, and guys like that, right? Whatever. And her eyes go bloop, dart over, you know? And that's not just an eye roll, that's like an eye toss.
Well, first of all, there's a lot of shows like this that bring women on, and a lot of them are just to embarrass the women, right?
That's true.
Because there's a lot of these young beta males that are intimidated by beautiful women, and women that are free to do whatever they want. And women and men are free. Everybody's free to do whatever they want. If you want to do something, and if it's going to, give you benefits, but there's also going to be consequences to what you do, you can get the benefits and you can own the consequences. That's something that you're free to do. What I think should happen is we should appeal to people and say, if you desire to have, let's say you desire to have a relationship, you should look at your level and slightly above, or for guys, they'll look at their level and, slightly above, but also quite a bit below, right? Guys will go quite a bit below their level. Like a millionaire will walk into a Starbucks and meet a female barista and fall in love and marry her, and off they go. But a millionaire male, a millionaire female probably won't be picking up the barista at Starbucks, right? Because she'll be like, well, if I'm going to have a man, I want a man that can make at least as much as me or more, as far as money goes, right? And that's not, in my opinion, the way to look at it. But this woman is putting herself on the internet forever.
Yeah.
And now she's saying what she's saying, making the faces she's making, dismissing her own qualities. I can cook, and men like women who can cook, whatever. She's dismissing her own qualities, not saying I can cook a mean roast, I can cook barbecue, I do, maple glazed, wood plank salmon on the grill. She's like, I make a awesome bundt cake and a banana cream pie. And she's not like, if she did that, there'd be guys calling her. They'd be like, well, if nothing else, I just want to come over for dinner. I'll pay you.
Well, I think what's misunderstood is that, yes, it is about servitude. There's nothing wrong about being in service to another person.
Serving others, yes.
Yeah. And so, and especially when you love someone, especially if you have that skill and that ability to please them by doing them a service of some sort, it's actually a pleasure. And I think that's this, if a woman, from what I can know in just like 5 seconds of watching her, could know that, like, oh, wow, that's great. You have that skill and that talent. And then you turn that around into showing love for someone that you love.
Well, if you were talking about your own skills, you should bolster them. You should say, I cook really well. And, don't shrug your shoulders and go, whatever, because no guy is going to buy into that. So let's listen to some more.
You think what you just described puts you in the top 10% of all earners in this country? 10% of men make
100
$100,000.
grand. I think a lot more people make 100 grand on average.
Look at her face, guys.
Yeah.
She really believes this. 10%.
Oh, maybe I just know different people. I just know a lot of people who they just make.
Shit, man. And this, and gentlemen, this is why it is so easy for women like her to devalue you, because she thinks being funny, so she says, can cook, can clean. You think you think you're the shit.
To see how this conversation turned out.
So the being funny, cooking and cleaning, those are all things people should be anyway. Those aren't things like, if I was trying to sell myself to somebody, if, like, say I was on a dating show and they're like, John, what are you going to say to impress Tara? What's that blind dating show where they put on the blindfold?
That show.
Yeah, you're here. It's on the internet.
Yeah.
Hey, John, what are you going to say to impress Tara? I'd be like, well, first of all, I'm into women. And second of all, I'd like to take you out on a date. I don't think that saying anything right here can impress you. You know, I'm an average guy. I take care of my own stuff. I cook, I clean. I have a couple of cats. I like to mountain bike. But these are all things that I can say about myself that I think are nice. I'd like you to get to know me so that you can find the things that you like in me, you know, and then we can get to know each other. You know, I'm not looking for a hookup. I'm looking to hang out a little bit and find out if you're somebody that I would actually like to be with. And I think the right woman would say, that sounds wonderful to me. You know, if I just sat there and said, well, you want to feel my pecs? You want to feel my biceps? You want to, you know,
yeah.
I like, you know, I'm a giver in the bedroom. Let me tell you about all the other sex I've had with other people. I mean, this is where society has gone to, you know, that talking about your sexual exploits is a badge of honor. And I certainly wouldn't be looking for somebody that makes a lot of money as a man or a woman. I think you're restricting your access to your true soulmate if you're just looking for an amount of money, you know, or a certain body type, because all bodies can be a really good type. You know, you see it all the time online, that these really fat women that go on a diet and in 2 years they look like a fitness model, you know, and you can do it. Anybody can do it.
And it can go the other way around.
It can go the other way around. You can start out as a fitness model and you can end up being 400 pounds, you know? So I think when people are happy and in balance and when they're with the right person, if you're with somebody for the wrong reasons, you're with the wrong person. And once you're with somebody for the right reasons, you can have all the right things in your life that you need and want and what you're supposed to have. So
what Kevin was saying is kind of confusing. He said, do you think that what you just said puts you in the top 10% of earners?
well, they had talked about
What he meant
money
was,
before that, yeah.
was that you think that by what you just said, that puts you in the realm of dating or marrying someone who's in the top 10% of earners.
Yeah.
And she was.
And most women want, when they say how much they want a man to make, they are literally talking about the top 1%. When they say $1 million or more, or when they say 350, I think 350,000 or 250,000 or more is the top 1%. And they don't realize, you know, because they're just looking at Instagram and the internet, watching lifestyles of the rich and famous.
Before the new age form of that. Yeah, so you had mentioned before that you brought that up also because I've been told before that I don't have affect. And, you know, I'm on camera a lot. I do online classes and hosting podcasts and so forth. And so I've become very aware of my
You see
facial
yourself all,
expression.
so you're not like,
Usually, you know, and I'm trying, you know, it still happens, but you know, if I'm trying not to leave my mouth hanging open while I'm looking up something to write. And
or use your tongue.
and at the same time, it's, you know, I think it is appropriate, it is good to be aware of your facial expressions, because that's how you express, that's how people, another way that people confirm what you're thinking and what's going on inside of you. And so this particular person that said I don't have affect, I didn't want to reveal what I was thinking. I think ultimately is what it comes down to.
Right.
But you do want to be aware also.
Well, if you're hosting, you don't want to take away from the person you're hosting either. So if
Right.
you're in a side screen and you're making faces over here, you're nodding all the time, or you're going, you know, or you're going, you know, thumbs up, dude, you know, you're distracting from what's going on. And so it's not the best way to host.
Right.
So.
Or there are certain people where you do want to give more affect and response to kind of keep them going.
Well, if you're dialoguing like me and you, I'm affecting constantly.
But it is good to be aware, you know, because that's what Kevin was responding to. Is he said, guys, look at her face, you know, how she just expressed herself.
Yeah.
And you do want to be aware of that, because a reaction, especially, and I remember when you told me this early on in our relationship, you're like, never roll your eyes at me. Like, I will not stand that. And you explained it to me, and and you're like, that's a sign of dismissal.
Yeah.
And then was it you or someone else described it even more and said that it is actually as if, no, it's Jordan Peterson who said it's actually a representation of you're picking up and tossing someone, like dismissing them in that way. And so that just drove it home even more. And so it is very important to be aware of your expressions, but especially at the time, you know, like if you were just about to roll your eyes, like even to be aware for yourself and like, is this a person I want to be around? You know, because if I am constantly wanting to roll my eyes, this is someone I don't actually respect or care for.
Well, let's watch another video and you can tell me what you think.
You having fun with the screens?
Yeah, I'm just.
That's kind of neat.
Oh, here
Really
it
cool.
says share sound. I better click that, huh?
Yep.
I hope they heard the sound in the last
They should have.
version.
We'll find out.
Yeah, right.
Oh no.
This will be the way to do it. Not like that, not like that, like that, like that.
Yeah. There we go.
All right. I want you to respond to this one.
What the 4 basic outfits that any guy needs. What do I need to put on my back? There's where a lot of guys get spring and summertime. What is a high value man? Glad you asked. Let's define it. Let's go over some basic definitions. High, great, greater than normal in quantity, size, or intensity. Value, the regard of something held to deserve, the importance, worth, or usefulness of something. And man, an adult human male. So when you put all that together, what do you have? An adult human male that's greater than normal importance or usefulness to what? The group. Basic economic principle states that the value of something is what a market is willing to pay for it. The value is determined by what? The market. And when we're talking about individuals, the market is other people, men or women. So a high value man is completely determined by the market. Your opinion is your opinion. Now again, you don't have to agree with what I'm saying, but this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying a high value man. What is a
All right.
Okay.
So what do you think, Tara?
This is so interesting because just the other day we did a podcast where we responded to the Unplugged Alphas Ladies Night, and they're the guys and the gals are trying to define self-worth.
Yep.
And one of the guys gave a definition of market value. So what I said later is, well, they're giving this definition of self-worth because that's how they've defined for men what is a high value man. So value and worth are very synonymous to them. And so therefore, when a woman is talking about their own self-worth, that's the lens that they look at it from and through. And so I love it. Like, this is what we do. We've pulled out the dictionary and looked up definitions of words.
Yep.
And so he's actually doing a very literal definition rather than, this is what Urban Dictionary is saying these days, what a high value man is. And so, you know, in that definition, a man could be high value if he's the guy on the corner, you know, like, okay, our neighbor is a talented guy, right? You could call on him to do a lot of things outside, a lot of handy dandy things.
Yep. Handyman stuff, cutting down trees, moving things. Yeah.
Saying all things positive about our neighbor because he's a great guy and his wife is a wonderful person.
Well, we got nothing to say that's negative.
Absolutely. And so, but by the modern definition of what's the red pill community and so forth are calling a high value man, that type of
Well,
person.
let's watch what Rich has to say.
Oh, you have the same type
No,
of.
I got some, net worth, right?
Okay.
What
Your
is-
network is your net worth. Yep.
Yes, we'll see what he has to say.
You hang out with 5 broke, fat, dumb losers that do nothing with their lives, you're going to be the 6th. I guarantee it. Your network is your net worth. You hang out with 5 broke, fat.
That was short.
Yep, that was a short.
So-
No, I think there's various versions of that statement, right? You
Yeah.
are like the 5 people that you hang around with, right?
Yeah, that was a little too short.
So I think, but you know, a whole, you know, like when I met you, I had an understanding of that value of a man, right? That it's not just like, I didn't ask you how much you made, you know, you can surmise by certain things, but it was like, wow, this guy, he can obviously teach martial arts, put together his own business, he has a group of friends.
You talking about me?
Right.
Oh, what?
And so,
Reiterate all that stuff again.
Yeah.
Tell me about me.
well, early on,
Talk about
and
me.
I think that fortunately, intrinsically, I had this sense about what is a value in a guy, right? That, you know, I could see that, okay, you lived on your own, you started your own business, you were running a school, you had friends, you had colleagues that you were around, that people wanted to be around you. And were even paying you, and sometimes feeding you, to be around you.
I had a GMC Z71 extended cab 4-wheel drive 350 pickup, and there's nothing wrong with the radio.
That's right. You had a son, and you had sole custody of your son, and you know there were a lot of check marks in the area of, wow, this guy has taken care of some stuff in life, and has capability, right? And, you know, in a sense too, I would look at guys' hands, and I love your hands.
The amount of strength, girth, calluses. What are you looking for?
Okay, ladies, here I'm going to
Bruised knuckles.
I'm going to give some
Beat
hints
up.
too. I love your forearms.
What?
And I look at your connective joints, even before like I knew martial arts and stuff. There was just a sense like this guy knows how to do stuff.
He
And
does
so
things.
when I see a guy
That's
at the
just
gym,
my right arm. That's that big.
so when I see guys at the gym that have just glamour muscles, I inside I laugh. Like it's like, you've said later on, yeah, they can't even move those muscles.
You're not. Oh yeah, I put other men down all the time. Well, guys can do that. Guys can slam on other guys right to their face too, and guys don't care.
Yeah.
Most guys don't care. This younger generation, they really care. But most guys are like, we're just getting to know each other. You know, you smell like crap. You know, well, I think it's your breath. You know, it just goes back and forth. You know, that's your breath backing up on you.
So I think instinctively there were these things that told me that this guy is valuable. You know, is high value, because he can do stuff, right? Like he can get around in life. Because you know, just that Rich Cooper one about your network is your net worth. I think there's innately, fortunately, I knew that
you didn't even know my friends.
I didn't even know. Well, maybe
most
I
of my
should have
friends
gotten
were
know them
wealthier
better.
than me and were farther along in life, and yeah. So I was probably the fourth friend on the scale of prosperity. My first. You know, a group of 5 guys, the first 3 were at higher points in life than me. And then I probably had a buddy that was, you know, my level or below.
Yeah, so I agree
Talking
with
about
Kevin.
the first 5.
I agree with Kevin Samuel's definition and then what that does also is for women, you know, listen, that opens up what is value. You know, it's not just cash value. It's like, would you
money comes and goes.
Would you be, just to make it like more real life in a sense, like, you know, would you like $5,000 to buy a diamond, or would you like someone to give you a 2-carat, you know, D clarity, near perfect diamond? Okay, there's value in paper money, perceived value, and then there's also market perceived value in the diamond, but there's more of an intrinsic value.
The way you ask a person is, would you like?
I should say gold, because now you can do lab created diamonds and stuff, and so.
The way you ask people nowadays, or you just say, would you like $1 million or a penny doubled a day for 30 days, and just see what they say.
It takes some math skills.
What would you take? Just say it.
Well, it's got to be the penny a day.
It's got to be the penny. Well, see, that's
pretty sure I've heard
common sense thinking, because why would anybody ask you that, right? The common sense tells you it's got to be the penny, right?
In a way, yeah.
Because that's something like $12 million or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't do the math, but.
So yeah, so value, and again, getting back to the comment the other day about the Unplugged Alpha Ladies Night and self-worth, go ahead and listen to that episode because we go into it more in that one.
Ladies' night?
It's a
We could pull up a ladies' night one. Should we?
pull up a short.
Should we do it?
Might as well pull up a short.
Should we do it?
I don't know if they have many of.
How to turn women off. That's a short. That's not hard. Alpha females don't exist. That'd be an interesting one.
All right, let's go for that one.
All right, Rich, we're exposing you. Let's see what's going on here. All right.
Women are always going on like, I'm an alpha female. No, you're not. The most alpha female out there can't even come close to the things that I've done. You're not going to find a strong, virtuous man that's going to want to invite you into his life. If you're walking around being disagreeable and bossy, you're a woman, embrace your femininity, lean into it, and amplify that part of your life instead of listening to what society's lied to you about, which is women can do anything a man can do. No, you can't. Women are always going on.
Well, first of all, if I was talking about women, I wouldn't compare them to me because that's not an alpha male. You know, an alpha male wouldn't say, there ain't no woman that could hold a candle to me. I'm an alpha man. Sorry, Rich, but that's not a good comparison because if you're saying that women can't, then there wouldn't be a comparison to a man.
Well,
right?
It's the girls and guys soccer game we watched. Right?
So you're saying Rich is the tiny little girl yelling at the big guy? Tara.
Well, so I was listening to one of our podcasts the other day and you were schooling me again on
What?
Are you tapping me for a reason?
I was feeling your firm thigh.
Okay,
Calf.
feel them then, don't just tap them, otherwise I'm like, what are you trying to signal?
Tara.
That really bothers me. So you're schooling me once again on don't just respond reactionary, men versus women, Chevy versus Ford, that sort of thing. And Biden versus Trump, don't just like do reactionary things. And that's, I think, what you're pointing out again about Rich's response is like, it's very societal reactionary in comparing, even if it was already stated in the one affirmative, that's not necessary. And we use in a martial arts analogy, just because you get a punch, the automatic response doesn't always have to be a parry.
Right.
And if that's your only response, that you're gonna get caught someday.
Sometimes I'll illustrate this way, and then I'll remind me to talk about Rich and alpha females. Sometimes you have to eat a punch to make it to the position you want to be in. So I fought in Canada in the ring, Thai boxing back in the day. And the guy was, about 6-7 inches taller than me. And I couldn't get close to him. So I literally had to sacrifice my face to hit him, right? I did. I did everything I could. I could get in and get a couple shots. I could get some body shots, and I doubled him a few times, but I had to get hit in order to, because he would punch and I would kick, and he could still hit me. When I was leaned out kicking, he'd still clip me. And so I just said, all right, fine. It's kind of the strategy, like I'm going to let him punch himself out. And, I got hit quite a few times. And the next day I couldn't open my jaw. I was drinking my food. I had to make shakes and stuff, protein shakes and that kind of thing. But there's not always a good defense. Like you have a parry, you have a destruction, you have a stop, the stop gap, you have a slip, you have a bob and weave, you have all these different things to deal with what you're saying, a punch, right? But I was in a situation where I literally just had to eat it to get inside, right? And once I did, I made him dizzy a couple times. He grabbed the ropes, that kind of thing. But getting back to what, oh, sorry, I'm bouncing the table. So getting back to what Rich is, I was fighting. I was getting into it.
I know, you're all active.
Talking about what Rich is saying, if I'm going to put myself in Rich's shoes, I'm doing my podcast, I'm talking about alpha, all these women are saying, I'm alpha. There are alpha women in groups of women, right? The alpha just means the top, right? It's the top dog, it's the head dog. And if a woman is in a group of women, and if a woman is in a group of men, there are women that have made, way more money than Rich will ever make or I'll ever make. And it's just a happenstance of wherever somebody's at and what they're doing. It's not a comparison, and I'm not going to compare myself to anybody. I'm not going to say, well, that guy's not as smart as me, I'm going to make more money than him. That woman's not as strong as me, there's no way she could be an alpha in this situation. But what I will do is I will observe the things that happen. If I'm in a meeting in a conference room at a company and there's 6 guys and we're having a meeting and we're getting things done and solved and we're talking about stuff and there's a little bit of arguing, sometimes there's even a little bit of anger, sometimes there's finger pointing, sometimes there's, we don't want to hear about that anymore. And a woman walks in, the whole demeanor of the entire meeting changes. The 50% of the men will be non-effective because they're just going to be complimenting the woman because it's natural, right? Oh, that was a great idea, Becky. Thank you for that, Becky. We're so awesome that you came in and gave us this idea. And
There might be a Shelley every once in a while.
every guy in the room knows they're not using that idea, but they will compliment the woman so that they're not seen as a sexist. And it's ideas not being used or being used are not sexist. Now that woman may go on and make $10 million a year, $100 million a year, whatever it is. And those guys may never have listened. But in the situation that you're in, you have to take into account what needs to be done, what's happening, what you're willing to do. Are you willing to test something out and potentially lose, 50,000 or make 50,000, whatever it is, right? So I just don't think there's value in comparing men and women because everybody knows men and women are different. There's literally arguments online about men having babies and, all this kind of stuff. And it's like, let's just stop. Just don't worry about that. If there's a man that can have a baby and science proves that it's really a man, then that will be an incredible anomaly in the history of the human race, and everybody marvel at it, and then we'll just go on about our business and we won't worry about it because it'll only be that one. So yeah, I don't think it's valuable for an alpha male to say, that woman can't do that, that woman can't do anything, I'm better than that woman, they could never do what I do. I don't think there's value in that.
So I liked bringing things back to martial arts,
Yeah, let's fight about it.
So there are the Ronda Rouseys of the world, right? She's lost some fights with women.
She got her ass kicked by a woman.
Yes.
Yeah, by two women for sure.
But there are a lot of guys who wouldn't take her on either. She's extremely skilled in especially one area. She's rounded out really well, her skill set, but she's absolutely amazing at judo, right? And so even with a bigger guy, you get the right leverage, she's taking him down. But in her own weight class, but she went back to WWE kind of stuff, right?
Well, what happened with her was she came in with a super high level of judo.
Olympic level.
And nobody was prepared for it.
Right.
The women were training MMA. They were training how to punch, how to go to the ground,
and jiu-jitsu.
grapple, and fight.
Yeah.
Right? Ground and pound, takedowns, not throws, because judo throws, aikido throws, all that type of stuff takes years, sometimes decades to learn, right? Because
and she had her mom who she basically learned.
Her mom was a
womb.
professional.
Right.
Yeah. And so it can take decades to get as good as she was. And so these women that had been training for a couple of years and going into the UFC, there's not enough time to learn that level of sensitivity, that level of body position, and instantaneous in the moment, having
Or
that
just-
reaction.
You can see her core strength and agility is
yeah.
just so, and strength also in being able to withstand that kind of impact.
Damage, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, a person's body weight on you. Didn't phase her.
So what I'm getting at is emphasizing, like the soccer video that we showed, is at times, usually it's ridiculous to just even try to compare men and women. And in the martial arts world, Ronda Rousey has come up a lot in the sense of with the men, would you try to take her on? Do you think she could win a fight against a guy? And I think she's said it herself at times, I wouldn't. She's very brazen.
Well, she trains with guys in the gym, so she knows.
She knows, which guys she could take out, but there are a heck of a lot that she couldn't as well.
Generally, I'll say it this way. Generally, it's not the skill level of a woman. It's taking if some woman gets attacked, right? We're not talking martial arts. We're talking on the street. A woman gets attacked. It's taking the attacker by surprise and incapacitating them somehow and then running away. It's not standing and fighting. It's not grabbing them and going to the ground and getting them in your guard and doing an arm bar.
Right.
That's not it.
See, that's why I would have hugged the soccer captain and said, winner buys drinks. You gotta throw him off.
Right.
That was the high-low, hug. So, but also in martial arts, I had to learn, I think it's great training with guys because you had a quick idea of like who...
What power and strength is.
Absolutely. And then also very early on, you trained me in multiple areas because I was not coordinated, did not have good endurance, did not have the strength. And so you made sure I was training in all areas, but then also eventually focusing on an attribute. Still not sure what my attribute is, but and we won't tell.
You're cute.
Well, we won't tell because I don't like to give away those secrets.
That's right. We can't let anybody know.
But that's the thing is that I think Rich kind of said it. He's like, women, just embrace your femininity.
Absolutely.
Right? But just someone who's already riled up and was taught the feminist dogma, that they're just like, ugh.
You actually were.
I was what?
You grew up that way. You were taught the feminist dogma.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you have this natural reaction of like, no. But then if you realize it's like martial arts training, come on, it's back to Karate Kid, right? You find
Don't meet force with force.
Through the training, you find out, oh, I have an innate skill, I have an innate something, and that is my secret weapon. And rather than just be like, oh, I didn't want it to be that one.
Well, if you're meeting force with force, you have to have the force to meet the force. Two 6,000-pound vehicles running into each other at 50 miles an hour are going to neutralize each other, and their crash is going to be equal in the middle, right? Now, if you take a 6,000-pound vehicle and you run it into a 2,000-pound vehicle at 50 miles an hour, it's going to go, and it's going to blow that one backwards. That's the inertia and the force and the weight and all the mass and all that kind of stuff, right? There's literal physics. So if you take a gal that's 135 pounds and you put her next to a 220-pound brute, like we saw in that video, there's a major disparity in everything. The speed and the strength of that guy, the agility and the quickness of the gal might be higher than the guy, but the speed and the strength of the guy are going to outweigh the agility and the quickness if the guy knows how to control the situation. And then if you take a 220-pound guy, you'd be surprised, how fast they can move and how agile they
Well, if that's
can be.
what they've been doing their whole life.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
So yeah, I think that there is no argument. I think there should be good quality discussions like we're trying to have here about the benefits of size and strength and the benefit of agility, quickness, flexibility, articulation with fingers, and that kind of small things and big things, because there's both. We have trucks and we have bicycles. We have
A bicycle?
No, I'm pointing back here. There's a truck over there. There's a bike back there.
Okay.
Well, I'd be like a truck and you'd be like a small car, a smart car.
Thanks. At least I'm a smart car.
I'm a dump truck, and you're a smart car. But really, right? I mean, we have to have the different attributes because, I don't want to be married to a 220-pound brute of a person, of a woman, and you don't want to be married to a 125-pound guy. It's something I could tell by the America hat and all your country roots.
Yeah, you got to at least be able to throw bales.
At least pick up a bale and carry it.
Something like that. Yeah, you got to carry more than me.
Yeah. Should we do one more?
All right, one more.
So what are we looking for?
I don't know. I'm just keep.
Married women and loyalty?
Well, you could see what he's actually saying about marriage.
Women and jealousy.
Why men should say no more.
Why men?
Men.
Why
Women?
why women's?
Oh, I thought you were already sharing.
No, I wasn't sharing. So now I'm sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Am I sharing the right one?
All women love this ratio. Oh, I know what he's talking about now.
Hold on. I just got to make sure I'm
You're just
sharing.
messing around.
I don't think I was sharing the right one. All women mess around? No.
No. Loyalty is a lie.
Oh, whoa. All right.
There's no such thing as loyalty. Loyalty was a lie. It's something that Hollywood, media, religion.
Rich, who hurt you?
Yeah.
Your parents, school, advertisers on TV, people that make diamond rings for weddings, all these people lied about that. Can women be monogamous and be loyal? Yeah, but they can also be very disloyal. So you have.
Well. Hold
Okay,
on.
there's
Hold
click.
on a
There's
second.
that was clickbaity because he said yeah, but then
Yeah.
sure.
You okay, if you're making a point, you can't give both sides of the argument. You can't be like, yeah.
Talking out both sides of your mouth.
Well, you can't say, can women be loyal? Yeah,
Sure.
but most of the time they're not. You can't. All right, let's finish it.
You have to understand these innate behaviors when it comes to loyalty. Because when I see guys that are like, well, I want big boobs and a bum and she has to be loyal. It's like, you're starting off from the wrong point here. You have to understand female nature and stop expecting women to be loyal forever and ever until kingdom come, because they're only as loyal as their options. And you'll hear a lot of the guys.
Okay, so shall we reveal loyalty? Okay, how many years ago? 8 years ago, 9 years ago, we went through a bankruptcy, and we had a financial situation turn up in business that wasn't expected, and a financial institution did us dirty, and we ended up, after 2 years of continuing to work and try to function financially in business, we ended up having to file bankruptcy, and we filed a personal bankruptcy and closed down the business that we had, and then I started a business and that type of thing. So my bankruptcy attorney said, you have an incredible wife. And I was like, why do you say that? And he goes, I've never done a bankruptcy where the woman and the man didn't get divorced. He said where the woman didn't leave the guy. And I'm thinking to myself, now he was from a pretty wealthy area in our state, and probably, did a lot of bankruptcies for guys that had gold digger wives. So, I mean, initially you invested $700 in me.
Yeah.
You got me cheap.
Good. Yep. And you had offers for more, so like much more.
Geez, yeah.
So yeah.
I think I told that story on another podcast.
Well, I think there's a certain part of what Rich is saying.
Offers for more.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1,000 times more.
At the John auction.
100 times more.
700.
I was
sold.
I was offered $70,000 to go out with a woman.
Yeah.
And you borrowed me $700 to finish off a rent payment on my school, my business at the time.
Which she didn't know.
No. Anyway.
He can't be sold, but he could be lent.
I can't be bought.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I think there is some truth into what Rich is saying, that I think, so during, just going back to that time specifically.
In that short, there was too much, it was too gobbledygook.
There was too much.
There was way too much. You're talking about loyalty, editing. But then you're going to big booty and boobs and that kind of stuff. And that's what I was saying earlier when I said a person should find someone that they get along with. They should find someone that they're attracted to, not somebody that blows their mind when they see them. It's like you should find somebody, become their friend, and then, at a later date, a month later, 2 months later, you're like, you find yourself thinking about them, right? I mean, you and I, we knew each other for 6 months before we dated. And for me, it was, I would see you, 3, 4, or 5 days a week in a situation where we weren't dating. I wasn't thinking about you that way, but we talked and we got to know each other better, and we talked more, and then we laughed and joked, and then you
got to know me casually. We didn't meet one day and then hook up right away, and then just like,
No.
You got to, hey, I haven't seen you for a couple days. Where, things going okay? Yeah, I was, with my grandparents the last couple days, or, up at the cabin, or.
And I'll even say it, after being married for 24 years, early in our relationship, I became interdependent with you. I'm going to say dependent, but it quickly went to the interdependency of the comfortability in a relationship, but knowing that you need that person with you. And that was something I had not experienced up until that point. And that became like a center point of our relationship. Like, I wanted to be around you. I wanted to do things with you. When we went on trips, we drove. Rarely did we fly. We could have flew, but we drove when we went in the country. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think you did too. I mean, you might have wanted to fly every now and then more than I did, but I enjoyed our car rides. I enjoyed the talks. I still do, and that was a big deal for me. And I can't emphasize that enough with guys, that if you start your relationship by banging, that's going to be the focus. That's going to be the key to your relationship. But we had, like, I would look forward to seeing you, 4 or 5 months into knowing you, I would look for you. I would look forward to seeing you. And I would, oh yeah, remember this? We were talking about something. Hey, I found out this, or do this, or whatever, go here. Or I put up, I was at the coffee shop the other day, blah, blah, blah. We were talking about stuff, and it was fun, and you started working at a local kind of sports bar restaurant place, and I would go there to eat, and
That was actually after we were together.
Oh, were we dating then?
Yeah.
No, because remember those girls that a group of us came in, and the girls said, you better not be going out with her.
No,
You better not be trying to date her.
I went to the sports bar with you guys like a couple times before we were dating.
Before you worked there?
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
Really?
and
You
then
worked there after we were together?
for like a week.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I was not,
Oh.
I could do other things, but restaurant business was not
Yeah.
my thing.
Well, you spoke Spanish, so we went over well in the kitchen.
That's about it. Yeah, even English speakers.
Everybody would say, what'd the chef say? What'd the cook say?
So I think where Rich is correct is that I do believe in the hypergamy concept, where women do tend to look across and up, but mostly up, and I think it is instinctual because that we are looking for someone who can provide, because when you do, we are still mostly a lot animal, right?
Well, innately, the woman is going to have a child.
And there's a lot of burden on the woman
Yep.
in having a child, and so you need to have someone who can provide, someone you
And
can
she doesn't
trust,
want to
someone who's
move.
safe.
She doesn't want to move from her lake house to a trailer park when she has a kid,
But it's also perception. So you are typically okay with the level where you were brought up at, in my opinion. I think that's kind of your neutral zone, or your minimum. And so anything below that feels unsafe. Now, this is just totally opinion
I
at
think
this
that's
point.
more you, because I think I've known a lot of people that come from money that end up wanting to build their own life, with their spouse, and they never achieve what their parents had achieved.
Okay.
But they have their life, right? They're like, this is my life. They realize that your life is created by you. Your life isn't commanded and demanded by where you came from. Your life is created by you. So, how you live is where you're at, the level you're at. And most people don't want to hear that. If you live in a tent down by the river, you don't want to hear that you created your life. People blame other people for where they're at in life. And that's something, in my opinion, that human beings cannot do in this realm of coming from spirit into physical and having a spiritual/human experience, or human/spiritual experience. You cannot trick yourself into blaming other people for your problems.
Let me finish my thought, and
Sure.
then let's go off on more tangents, because
Okay.
I just need to get through this thought. So I think he's largely right. I believe in that we as a human race and women are largely hypergamous. I think it's really innate.
But in the beginning, before you date,
Before you
I
date.
think what these guys are talking about is, some of them, like when I listen to Rich, I hear damage, right? And
Let me get through this.
no,
though.
no, but
just
what
wanted
I want to bring up the hypergamy, like you're talking about,
Okay.
because women date their level and above, that's hypergamy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, these guys are inferring that women are that way for the rest of their lives. And this is where I'm coming in at when I say, and I didn't link all these things before, but where I'm coming in at is if you are not with the right person, you're going to continually look. Guys too, right?
Yeah.
Guys are like, I wanted the booty and the boobs, but she's got no brains. And now the guy is chatting with the waitress at the restaurant and she's smart, and it's like, oh, I'm chatting it up. I'm gonna, and then the guy is looking, right? Even though the wife is supposedly up here and the waitress is supposedly here, but the waitress has something that the guy did not make sure the wife had, right?
He was going after his instincts.
Yep.
We were talking about, yes. And so if you're just going after your instincts, that can catch up with you.
It will.
And make sure
It will catch up with
Make
you.
sure it's well-rounded.
Yeah.
So case in point. So yes, when we went through the bankruptcy, I went through some hard thinking. I really try to be very rational, like reasonable, and like, of course you're going to
Me
go through
too.
these emotions
Yeah.
and stuff. And, first of all, depending on the structure of your bankruptcy, but you at least in the state of Minnesota, you can only like keep your home up to a certain value.
You can keep your home no matter what, and you can keep a car
Up to
a certain value.
up to $350,000 at that time. So realistically, you're both starting at zero again. Unless she has a boyfriend in the mix. So he's right. Yeah, if she's thinking, I'm with a loser and I need to find someone who can provide, yeah, she's going to bail. Or maybe she has her own rocking career and they're already, but they might not be anyways.
They're growing apart anyway.
They
I
could
don't,
be.
and I hear
That's an
somebody
assumption,
got
but-
divorced. I don't blame it on anything other than the fact that they didn't grow together.
So in a way, I can see, yes, if she's already got one foot out, even
Right.
though
It makes it easy to leave.
it makes it easy to leave, but doesn't necessarily make it any easier. Because what I thought is like we're both at go again, and is it going to be? It's not that I don't love you. It's just like, yeah, that really sucks, And
We were 100 times farther down the road when that happened than we were when we got together.
totally
And
relationship wise, and also like I'd seen the customer base you had built up. You don't get rid of your customer base when you go through a bankruptcy. There are things that they take, but there's so much that they don't take. Like Rich was saying in the earlier video, your network is your net worth, right? Your customers, your friends, your business associates. And so you weren't bankrupt. It's just that situation, we had become financially bankrupt, and it was extremely unfortunate. And we are in an industry that is very difficult, high overhead, and especially at that time, economics that was shortly after the housing bubble crisis. And so, I tried to be reasonable like this, like I'm not with a dumb guy, I'm not like with an idiot, but we're going to learn some things from this, and we can either get stronger or we can let it break us apart and both start from zero in like every facet of life. Okay, go ahead. I just had to get that out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I think, when people say, they got divorced, I don't really think much about it. It's like, okay, that wasn't working for them. And if you had left, I would have been like, well, obviously she's not the right person for me, because our relationship was 100 times farther down the road in the quality of our relational life, in our understanding of each other, in the dynamic way that we handle the world, the way that we can filter things, and then our knowledge, your knowledge in business, my knowledge in business, our ability to do the things that we did, or even start a different business, and the beauty of our system, because we had a bank say, we're not carrying you anymore, not carrying your loan anymore. And you know, the bank was restructuring. So the bank was like, you got 90 days to pay this, and I couldn't pay it in 90 days. So I even told them, this is what I'm going to have to do. And they didn't care, you know? And so, and at that point, you can't go to another financial institution and say, pick me up, because they're going to be like, well, why are they letting you go? You know, it's a real, and I think the banking system was going through something, because there was a lot of businesses in the same boat. And so I think the derivatives had caught up to the bank from the housing bubble. I think because we made it through the housing bubble, we survived till 2015. And so that was almost 7 years after the housing bubble. But I think it was catching up to the banking system, and they were doing a lot of restructuring. And so, and I just went, okay, this is what's going to happen. I didn't cry about it. I didn't do anything. I just got busy right away. And I think a lot of people, when they go through something like that, they don't deal with it properly, and they get angry quick, and they start arguing and fighting with each other, and you know, that kind of stuff. And then that's why the divorce happens.
And it probably ends up bringing up stuff that they hadn't been talking about along the way.
Yeah, and it might not be that they're gold digging women. It might just be that they don't know how to handle what's happening, or maybe the guy isn't handling it properly, or you know, sometimes it's the woman that goes through the bankruptcy because she has a business, you know, and you know, I don't know, because I'm not in those situations. I can imagine every different kind of situation happens. So I'm very grateful that we ended up where we're at. And it wasn't even a question in my mind that you were going to leave me. When my attorney said that, I was like, what do you mean she hasn't left me? I was like, you know, why would she leave me? And he goes, well, I haven't done a bankruptcy where the wife didn't leave. And I'm like, well, you sure it's not the husband kicking out the wife? I mean, you know, do some people go through bankruptcies because maybe one or the other is spending too much money or not, you know?
Well, that could be, you know, depending on.
I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just saying, you know, I'm sure there's every different way. You know, what kind of makeup? Oh, it's not sponsored.
No.
Jane Iredale, you better sponsor us.
Actually,
what the heck?
I'm only wearing lip gloss today.
Look at her. She's pucker perfect. Look at that.
Pucker perfect. That'll be my makeup brand. Pucker perfect.
No, a good one. I shouldn't give it away, but I will. Duck Lips.
Oh yeah.
That'd be a great brand name for a lip gloss.
Probably already is.
Probably.
Yeah. Well, I think that was some great stuff we covered today.
Absolutely.
I think it's our men versus women podcast.
All right.
Like, subscribe, share, please. And yeah, let us know in the comments what you'd like us to talk about. If you have a question, contact us. And we're on the Instagrams and all that kind of stuff too.
All right.
All
Bye-bye.
right, bye.